Hi everyone, it's Tuesday and it's 10 a.m. and I've kind of been sitting here thinking, I feel really emotional today. When am I not emotional lately? And I think I've just got to stop doing videos, but then I think, no, I'm not going to, because how many people are feeling a bit emotional today? And I'm human. And the reason I'm feeling emotional is I came across this book recently called, I don't know if you can see it, Body Positive Power by Megan Jane Crabb. And I started reading it a couple of days ago and it made me cry. It made me realize how much I've been body shaming myself as a woman. And it made me realize how many of us, not just women but men too now, are frequently body shaming ourselves, how much we dislike how we look. And for some time now, I've been asking myself, what is beauty? Where does beauty come from? Why do we think something is more attractive and another person isn't, for example? And I've had some trolls on my YouTube channel call me names and things. And when I was at school, I was very tall. I was taller than most people in my class. I'm 5'10", and I developed a bit of a kind of a shoulder stoop because everyone was shorter than me. And I was also someone who, and I've still got it. I had very goofy teeth. I don't know if you can see it, but they're still the same, I think, pretty much. And I had a brace fitted, and I didn't really have good skin, and my skin still isn't really that great. And I really hated on my face for a very long time, even into my adult years. I would look in the mirror and I was so obsessive about my smile, about my teeth. And it was everything I thought about. I even considered getting my jaw broken because my mouth is so narrow to make my teeth straight. But after some time, I started writing about this on my blog, and I started doing something called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, where you tap on the acupressure points about anything, any type of phobia or feeling or anxiety you've got. So one day in front of a mirror, I looked in the mirror at my teeth and I cried at how I felt about my smile, about my teeth. And I tapped on all the different feelings I felt, from feeling goofy, feeling ugly, feeling unattractive. And after a while, the feelings left me. So I started writing about having goofy buck teeth and having a non-perfect smile on my blog. And it was one of the most popular posts on my blog in the beginning. And I had people replying who were dentists who said it was wrong that I was encouraging this type of activity, letting people know that having non-straight teeth was a good thing to have. It was horrific, really, that's what they were doing. But that was just the tip of the iceberg. And then after my father died, I developed a condition called rosacea, which can make your cheeks really red, and you go red when you're hot, or you're in the sun, or you eat spicy food, or you're just feeling really extra sensitive. And then I had acne as well. So I had it all going on, and I think many people can probably relate to this. I just thought I was not beautiful. I was not someone that would be attractive. I think in a way I dressed a bit like a boy when I was a teenager because I wanted to hide my attractiveness. Now, recently, I turned 42 this year. Past couple of months, I put a lot of weight on and my stomach ballooned, and I didn't notice it happening until I went shopping a few weeks ago and I was looking in the mirror sideways and I thought I looked pregnant. I was horrified. My jaw hit the floor, literally. I couldn't believe how big my stomach had gotten. And I didn't know why, and I was so stressed out about it. So I cut back on my food, and I started exercising more, and I tried to increase my metabolism. And I went for a walk this week, and I started to ask myself, what is it about my stomach? Why is it upsetting me so much? And a thought popped into my head that I'd actually put on weight because I didn't want to be attractive. I wanted to push potential partners away. So I'm starting to make peace with that now. So I bought this book, this Body Positive Power, and it just literally floored me when I started reading it. She made me realise what I've sort of known for a very long time, and I imagine a lot of women have, that there is no ideal when it comes to the body. There is no beauty ideal. The ideal has changed so many times over the years. How can there possibly be an ideal? And she talks about how in China there used to be a tradition. I'll read it out to you actually because it shocked me. I knew a little bit about this, but it made me cry to the point of realising that we as women and as humanity need to start to really accept every part of our bodies, our skin, our faces, our arms, our stomachs, our bottoms, our breasts, our lack of breasts, our thinness, our fatness, whatever you want to call it. And these sort of confirmations of what women have gone through just, I think, it needs to be repeated, because she said that in China there was a female foot binding which was the ultimate symbol of feminine beauty and status. Women who had lotus feet, which were feet altered in shape by binding, which made them around 3 or 4 inches long, were seen as the most attractive and were the most likely to earn prestigious marriages. The process of achieving this beauty standard involved breaking all but the big toes, tying them flat against the soles, breaking the arches of the foot in two, and binding them together until they were crushed in place. The women became symbols of the husband's wealth. Having lotus feet meant that even walking was painful, which meant the women couldn't work. And if the woman couldn't work, it meant that the husband was wealthy. And it goes on about Victorian times, and we all know about the women's corsets that women used to wear and how tightly constrained they were and how many women fainted because they couldn't breathe. But I didn't realise that the force on women's bodies often constricted the lungs so much that it squeezed the liver and small intestines, dislocated the stomach and compressed the bladder. Some women's corsets were laced so tightly that over time their ribs grew into their livers and other organs. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this, because this is the beauty industry. We have it a million times worse now, and I didn't realise how much I was affected by this. And reading this book makes me realise that all of us are. As children, we're brought up watching Disney movies where the women are princesses with very small, tiny waists, big breasts, and voluptuous bottoms. The guys are all clean-shaven with chiseled chins and muscles. And people say, well, it doesn't really affect children. Of course it does. We might not have been told that's what we had to be. But if we see it in children's storybooks and on TV, in movies, at such an impressionable age, we get taught by viewing, by absorbing the outer world, that is the ideal. And let's not forget that many of the princesses were white. There was very little of different coloured skins. Nobody had disabilities in Disney movies and all of these media children's things that we get shown. And that's just the beginning, and we started like that. And then you get people who bully women who are of bigger sizes or look different or have goofy teeth. We have women bullying women and we have men bullying women. And I've often asked myself, why do many men think that certain types of women are attractive, certain shapes, and they just think that is the way, that is what they're attracted to, and that's it. But they don't question, why are they attracted to that type of woman? Can anybody, you can see how impressionable we all are. We've been taught what is beautiful. And by doing so, we're being taught what isn't beautiful. We are being taught that cellulite, for example, is a flaw, when it's not, when every woman gets it, no matter what size or shape they are. We're taught that skin that isn't clear or smooth is a flaw, when many women, probably 95% of women, haven't got clear, smooth, pure skin. And much of what we see on social media is airbrushed, is with the right lighting. Like for today, I've got a light on and you won't be seeing my flaws very much. But if I switch that light off and I come really close, you'll see spots here, you'll see dry skin, you'll see lines, you'll see shadows under my eyes. And if I got my arm up close, you'd see wrinkles here. Not wrinkles, but it's where my skin is not getting older, but it's just changed its shape and form. And I've been taught that that is unattractive. And I read this book and she said something simple to me. It was, why do you want such a flat toned stomach? What about if you meet a guy and he wants to rest his head on your nice soft stomach? What's he going to lie on? And I thought, wow, I never even considered that about my stomach. So I'm not giving really any answers yet on how to move through this. But I think the key step is becoming aware of it and starting to accept that every body is worthy and deserving of acceptance, of love, of being seen as beautiful. We might look at people in this world and we think, how could, you see couples in relationships and you see someone who is stereotypical, the ideal beauty, and you may see a guy who's not that attractive in the ideal sense, and you think, how has that happened? But why do we think that? What if that person is just eyes open, sees everything, the light shining out, the reality, the truth of who they are? I don't know how I'm going to feel about my own self, but I think this is a good step, just becoming aware. I was talking to my best friend the other day, and I think as women, when we get to a certain age, we always compare. We've been taught to compare with other women. And I've been comparing my body with the body of an 18-year-old in the summer, walking down the street in their little hot pants, with, the hormones haven't started flooding, so the body hasn't started changing, and it's absolutely ludicrous to compare ourselves with anyone, really. And I look at the skin on my legs, and I've always wished I had really smooth skin, but I haven't got it. I get spots on my legs, and I have cellulite, and I look in the mirrors sometimes and I think, oh shit. And that's not great, is it? That's not a loving way to be. I talk on my channel about loving and embracing all of who we are, our emotions, our feelings, but haven't got round to the body so much. So I'm just starting with this. So if you're a man or you're a woman, you're watching this, if you're black, white, overweight in your eyes, over slim in your eyes, thin, toned. Perhaps you're of a certain age, you're over the age of 60 or 70 and you've got wrinkles and your body's not moving as well. Perhaps we all need to start looking in the mirror and looking for the ideal in us. Perhaps we are the ideal that we've been looking for all along, and we've been seeing it in the faces of other people, and often images that are not real, that are not true, that are totally artificial. And we need to start dropping them now. I mean, even though a lot of us realise that the beauty industry is an illusion, a lot of us read magazines or look on television, look at celebrities, and we know that they've been airbrushed. We know that lines under their arms or hairs out of place have been removed, or smile marks have been disappeared. We know that that's happening, but we still believe that it's real. And perhaps we need to stop buying those magazines. And perhaps we need to stop supporting the companies that advertise those products. I posted on my profile recently, there's a petition on one of the petition websites. I think it's in Times Square in New York. There is a big advertisement at the minute, ginormous advertisement, for a diet supplement where it's got a young woman holding a lollipop, and it's encouraging women to suck this lollipop when they're hungry. It's an appetite suppressant, and it's ginormous. And there's a petition going around to get it taken down. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to start saying no. And if guys or women, look at us and say horrible things, correct them, or just say, you're brainwashed too. You've been brainwashed to see a specific type of beauty. And I know I've been brainwashed. I know, I'm going to honestly admit this. If I see someone that's heavily obese, naked on social media, I cringe. I feel uncomfortable by it. But that's my problem. I've been taught that this ideal exists, and I've believed it. And my mind and my egos even interpreted it, say, well, I'm only feeling that way because it's obviously not healthy, and there's going to be a strain on their heart and they're going to be exhausted. But that's just my ego trying to justify my judgments. Why does someone who's really overweight, who's also really beautiful and shining out, why don't they deserve the same love and kindness and care as a model does, or a porn star, which is often the ideal because a lot of guys watch porn? Why doesn't everybody deserve that love and acceptance? So I don't know if anybody's watching this right now, but if you are, I'd love to hear your comments about this. I'd love to find out how you are learning to accept your physical self. What are you doing and how? And any recommendations on books or videos that you have. I'd be really interested. And perhaps you're like me, you're struggling with this. And what parts of this do you struggle with the most? So, I think that's all I'm going to say. I have no idea whether this has made any sense, but I just really felt like I needed to talk about it today. I'm not 100% clear with it inside myself yet, but I'm sure this book will help. I'm selling this person's book. I'm not actually getting any sales from it, but Megan Jane Crab, she's got an Instagram account and also a YouTube channel, and she's really good at what she does. She's someone who's had eating disorders and did the whole thing of not taking care of herself at an early age and really doing all the diets and all the exercise and hating who she was until she came across the body positive movement and everything shifted for her. So I hope it shifts for you, and I hope it shifts for me too. I think it will. I feel like it's just starting. Thanks for watching, and until next time on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Thanks everyone. Bye.